Not too long ago, a good friend of mine and fellow content creator gave me a call as he was passing through the Roswell area. He was getting some footage for a video he was putting together for his channel and asked if I'd be interested in doing a collaboration with him. Well, as you might have guessed from the title of this video, there was absolutely no way I could turn that down. So I hope you enjoy, and here we go.
What is going on, YouTube? I am Lamont at Large. Today, I'm coming to you from Fairview Cemetery here in Tularosa, New Mexico. Do you believe in UFOs? Do you believe in extraterrestrials? If you don't, allow my friend Drew from MADCATMYSTERIES to convince you otherwise.
Thanks, Lamont. So, today we are visiting the final resting place of one of the central figures involved in the Roswell event of 1947. His name is Mac BRAZEL. In July of that year, 48-year-old Mac BRAZEL lived and worked at J.B. Foster Sheep Ranch. The ranch was located about 85 miles northwest of the city of Roswell, New Mexico. One morning in June of 1947, BRAZEL came across a debris field spanning approximately 200 yards. It was immediately clear to him that he was looking at the debris field of something. He first notified the Chaves County Sheriff, to whom he whispered that he, quote, might have found a flying disc, unquote. The sheriff, named George Wilcox, immediately reported the find to Major Jesse Marcel with the Roswell Army Airfield. Major Marcel, accompanied by another man in civilian clothing, went out to the crash site in order to recover the debris. The wreckage was taken to the Roswell Army Airfield, and that was the last BRAZEL heard of it until news broke that a flying disc had been found. It was then that this famous photograph was taken of Major Marcel presenting the wreckage of what was very clearly a crashed Project Mogul array. If you're familiar with the Roswell event, then you're probably aware that the military eventually ended up claiming that what really crashed outside of Roswell was nothing more than a top-secret spy balloon known as Project Mogul. While there's no doubt that the wreckage seen here was, in fact, a Project Mogul reflector, there's one huge problem that needs to be addressed. Over the years, Major Marcel confided to several individuals that the wreckage in this photo was not the wreckage he recovered from the crash site. 31 years later, Marcel even went on the record to clarify that what he found on Foster Ranch was, quote, not from this earth, unquote. As for why the real wreckage was switched out and where it's being kept today, well, that's anyone's guess. One theory states that a long-term plan was devised shortly after the story first broke to blame the entire thing on the then top-secret spy program. It may seem counterintuitive for the military to show their own top-secret technologies. However, if the plan truly was to divert public attention away from any possible extraterrestrial explanation, then the plan seems to have worked. To this day, skeptics still subscribe to the official explanation that what crashed outside of Roswell was nothing more than a Mogul balloon. I could list numerous examples of how the whole Project Mogul narrative was completely inconsistent with eyewitness reports, but that's a topic for another video. Shortly after BRAZEL filed his initial report, he would soon come to regret having told anyone about what he had found that day. At the time, he truly believed he was doing the right thing by reporting what he had found. He even went so far as to say that he felt it was his patriotic duty to do so. But instead of his courage being rewarded, he found himself hopelessly tangled in a web of threats, coercion, and constant harassment. On Monday, July 7, 1947, BRAZEL was interviewed at the home of Walt Whitmore. Whitmore, who owned the local radio station KGFL, was planning to air the interview later on in the week. However, this would never come to pass as the recording had been confiscated by the army on the very next day. In addition to this, BRAZEL was detained by military personnel and spent an entire week in custody at the base. BRAZEL never went on the record to talk about why he was detained or exactly what happened to him over the course of those few days. What was clear to everyone who spoke to him after being released was that he was deeply frightened by the ordeal. After this, he remained very tight-lipped about the strange debris he discovered that fateful morning. His family believed the statements he did end up making around this time may have been the result of coercion and may have even been dictated to him by the army. BRAZEL died in 1963 at the age of 64. His wife, Maggie, died in 1975 at the age of 73. Their son, Bill, believed that his father took most of what he knew to the grave with him. Bill went on to tell various researchers interested in the Roswell event that his father remained bitter for having been detained for a week for simply doing what he thought was the right thing. All family members who had been interviewed over the years reported that BRAZEL had been sworn to secrecy. They believe he may have even been forced into taking an oath of secrecy, but he nevertheless remained true to his oath for the remainder of his life. BRAZEL was well respected in his community and loved by all who knew him. He was a simple but hard-working man of few words. Known for his honesty, he was a man of character, a man of honor, and an American patriot in the truest sense. Though we may never know the secrets he took with him to the grave, may he always be remembered as a man who strove to do what he believed was right, and may he rest in peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the legend himself, this is the grave of Mac BRAZEL, 1899 to 1963, and his wife Maggie, who passed in 1975, is resting alongside of him. This is the man who started the conversation about what exists in the universe, what is real and what is not. He started a conversation on what our government is trying to hide from us. This is the man that, with his own hands, touched an alien craft that was not forged from any materials that exist on this planet. My job is not to convince you that this exists or that this is real. Simply my job to tell you his story. And it is an absolute honor to show this grave. I've wanted to visit this grave for many, many years. Ever since I was 13, 14 years old, I knew this man's story, and I can't believe I'm here in front of him right now. It is a very unreal feeling. His story has been told through hundreds of newspaper articles, books, documentaries. If it wasn't for Mac, maybe we would have never known about the Roswell crash. And he is the man who owned the ranch where it all occurred. Not many interviews he gave during his life, and he was a very quiet guy. This guy was not a crazy person. He was just a good old cowboy. That's how people would describe him, just cowboy. And he did not seek any kind of fame or attention from the media. He was a very quiet person, very soft-spoken. He was, a lot of people would say he was a man of action and of very few words. And the story of him and the craft that crashed on his ranch is one of the most amazing stories I've ever read about in my life. And I believe it. I believe that occurred. I believe it happened. And anybody out there who wants to say that, oh, it was a weather balloon or what have you, miss me with the BS. You believe what you want to believe, and I'll believe what I want to believe. But anyways, rest in peace to Mac and his wife Maggie. Just literally a story from out of this world. I want to thank my friend Drew from Madcat Mysteries for narrating that video. Please give his channel a sub and thumbs him up. His channel covers many different topics from the paranormal to ufology. And if you are interested in the subject of ufology, you will definitely love his channel. And I want to thank him again for helping me with this video. This story was way too important for me to just do it by myself. A very fascinating subject and a very fascinating story from a man who, other than what we just spoke about, lived a pretty ordinary life. Live but not live, but still alive by the grace of God. I am Lamont at Large. Subscribe to my friend's channel, and I'll catch up with you on the next video. God bless, and peace out.
And special thanks, of course, to Lamont at Large. You can find a link to his channel down in the description. Definitely check him out and give him a sub as well. It's always a pleasure. And if you'd like to check out some of the other collabs he and I have done over the years, I have linked those down in the description as well. I also have a bit of exciting personal news to share. So, y'all remember that home inspection exam that I was stressing out over so much? Well, I finally passed it. First time, first try. That was February 4th, so boy, that is such a huge weight off of my back. I would again like to thank everyone who contributed to the GoFundMe. Words cannot express my gratitude. I'm about 6 to 12 months away from being able to actually start my home inspection business, so I'll still be working in healthcare till then. Last but not least, the topic for what I think will be my next video, because I'm about halfway through with it, the topic for that video is going to be the mysteries of Mount Kailash. That topic was suggested by a subscriber, but I forgot who suggested that. So if you're watching this and that was you, please let me know in the comment section so I can give you credit on my next video. And that's all I got. Hey everyone, Drew here from Madcat Mysteries, and I hope you enjoyed the video you just watched. If you did, you can click on the subscribe button below. I'd appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.